The presence of the youth league today in the densely populated township of West Point any form of apology. I want to say unequivocally clear that in these critical times we have come to battle and to battle for the supremacy of the interminable Mother Coalition for Democracy. And so some of you standing here today, you are veterans of the war. Your parents, your loved ones lived in the 14 years of devastating civil unrest and civil crisis. While the tears and the memories continue to flow through your eyes and memories, Georgia Human Worker has organized a National Executive Committee to bury the perpetrators of the mass murdering, the bloodletting, and the massacre of our people, while the victims today are lying in the graves without justice, and their bones are turning around in the graves without justice. Their widows, their children, their loved ones today are in the principal streets of Montserrat and its environs across the 15 sub-political divisions without justice. But we're interested to know that Quacker has used $9 million US just to bury former perpetrators of the conduct and the devastating political orchestrated, the killing, the murdering, the massacre, the masses of our people in cold blood, that turned them into the Tuparo cemetery, into the Central Street cemetery. And we can say to you that these people are the truth owners and patriots of the struggle and patriots of the motherland. Congress, while we speak to you, we know that you have a government that has come under the mantra of rescue. Today, the government that has come under the mantra of rescue has become a sharp contradiction to its policies and programs. You must ask yourself today, over 1.5 years of political existence, where are the deliverables in terms of the promises made to the Liberian people? Yesterday, they said the police people, the policeman, the AFL, the immigration officers today, who Mr. Gregory Common is trying to use for undermine and jeopardize the peace and security of our country, their salaries were being increased so that they can take a home, good salary and take that income very potential income at the level that's very reasonable. Today, we have a situation where the officers of the Liberian National Police, the men and women who are working in the day, in the night, in the rain, the sun, they have been paid less than $170 US, and Mr. Gregory Common is asking them to go and pick on peaceful Nigerians. While Mr. Gregory Common makes $4,000 US along with the elite security force, he asking people on the banner of the Liberia National Police to go and raise the lamps in the communities, to go and raise the lamps in the streets, in the name of challenging protesters, in the name of challenging marketeers, in the name of going after motorcyclists, in the name of going after Yana boys. But we know very well to our officers, the real revolution will not be led only by the marketeers and the motorcyclists alone. The coming revolution will be led by men in uniform. And that's what Mr. Gregory Common has to be told, and be told to the core. And so today, you see the hardships in the country. We need not to inform you about the increase in gas and the fuel prices in the country. We need not to inform you about the ill-fated yellow machine that is yet to come, yet to arrive. The suffering of the marketeers, the Liberian people, the health workers are practical examples of what we say here. And now only that with students from MCS and the instructors, an example, shining examples about the appalling conditions. Liberia is at a crossroad. But the president of the country, who came on a political arrangement, doesn't care about the harsh conditions and appalling reality on grounds. He is flying with private jet on a poor Liberia and that poor economy. This president is riding the latest Lexus, 1.2 million United States dollars, where school fee is going higher, where health workers are yet to experience increment in salaries, where teachers are not yet agreeing because there are a lot of sellers while there are no buyers. But your president, Joseph Human Braka, the Lexus president, the private jet president, the man who's spending $9 million on burying perpetrators of the 14 years of brutal, devastating civil unrest in several classes of our country, the man who spent $10 million on moving just a speaker, cannot spend money on the health sector of our country, has refused to spend money on teacher salaries, has refused to spend money on civil service in the country, has refused to spend money on public policy to reduce the price of rice, the price of gasoline, the price of fuel oil, and other basic social necessities in the country. And that's why today, in politics as in history, it is only on the trajectory of the historical necessity that people will begin to understand where they should go in terms of socio-economic classes. And where we've come, where we are headed to, we want to say to you that the Revolutionary National Youth League of the Indomitable Martyr Coalition for Democratic Change is headed for the coming revolution. It's headed for the coming revolution, a revolution that dare not to be televised. They're coming for the coming revolution that will not be afraid of tear gas, that will not be afraid of police brutality. Because we too have our friends in the police, of course we have our friends in the AFL, we too have our friends in the immigration, and so we do not fear you, we do not fear the police, but we do not fear Gabriel Como. Let me conclude on this note by saying to you, Congress, that true power is inherent in the people, but real power is inherent in the people, and that the people's power is more powerful than the people who are in power. And I'm the one saying that. It is our constitution, your constitution, under Article 1 of the Liberian Constitution. It says clearly that all people and that the people have the right to author any government if the happiness and constitutional rights and desire are so crucial to their own survivability. And I want to say, Congress, at this time, we want to say to you that the final convener and the chief messenger who gave the itinerary and gave the position of the Youth League is no other person else but a man who served as Secretary General of the Youth League and later transition to what is known today as the Revolutionary National Youth League Chairperson of the Coalition for Democratic Change. And so, Congress, the Youth League Chairperson, there have been questions, rumors, and speculations about where we stand, where we are in the coming revolution, moving towards July 17. Where we are, where we stand, where we are, where we stand, where we will be, where we will go on July 17, it has to be determined by the Coalition for Democratic Change Revolutionary National Youth League. And that Youth League position will be eloquently articulated, and our position will be unapologetic. Our position will mean a policy position for all young people throughout the bailiwick. For all young people throughout the bailiwick. For all young people throughout the bailiwick of the 15 sub-political divisions of the Republic of Liberia. So I want to say here quickly that Mr. Bwakai, the People Revolution is a noble revolution. The People Revolution is a revolution of the people. And the people have the constitutional right to assemble before history. And if you dare not to be a good reader of history, if you dare not to be a good interpreter of history, do not repeat April 14, 1979. If you dare not to be a good listener to history, do not miss the historical consequences that befall an attempt to try to oppose or to counter the politics and struggle of the Popular People Union on the 17th of July in any moment from now as we march into history. At this time, we'd like to say you are welcome to the Russian Comrades Vice Chair for Inter-Party Affairs, Comrade Gaisa Abba Davis, the former Youth Chairperson of Electoral District number 10, concomitant the Vice Chair for Inter-Party Affairs, who will now officially invite to this roadshow the man who is the chief convener, who has the final message of the Youth League to communicate to the Liberian people about the final and actual historical itinerary. Amanda! Away to! Thank you all so much, comrade. You are welcome.
Thank you. That was Aluta, that was a very beautiful, brilliant, historical topology about the states, and as well as a very elaborate chronological display of the negative verses that the state is involved with. But like he said, we are not the official messengers. The man who has the official message is here to speak, and you will deliver that message on behalf of the People's Party, on behalf of the most conscious auxiliary of the People's Party, the Revolutionary National Youth League of the Indomitable Mighty of Congress of Democratic Change. So the Youth League is not alone on this journey. The Youth League is not alone. The Youth League is then supported by a group of collaborating political parties, opposition political parties, Youth League. They have come to add their voices to the voice of the Youth League in showing that our people are redeemed. So without any delay, I have the distinct honor to invite on stage the man who will speak on behalf of the collaborating political parties, Youth League, opposition Youth League, Mr. Abraham Conan, who currently serves as the Youth League chairman of the Liberia People Party, LPP for short. Comrade Chairperson Abraham Conan, the stage is yours to speak on behalf of the collaborating political parties, Youth League.
I say the youth is say for you. Everybody, we see you now. Everybody, we see you now.
Amanda, Zeyo, July 17, Zeyo, 10 political party involved Zeyo, Amanda, I'm Abraham Conan, National Youth Chair of the Liberian People's Party, also serving as chairman of the 10th opposition political party youth congress. We are not here to show our intellectual strength. We are here with a direct mandate to support the Congress for Democratic Change, to support the that July 17, you will see us, not only our supporter, but you will see us a chairperson of the 10th political youth congress. So on this note, Honorable Chairman Emmanuel Johnson, 1 minute, Chief. On behalf of the 10 endorsed, all 10 parties have endorsed the July 17 protest under the banner of Enough is Enough, led by Stan, that is being supported by the Youth League. I'm honored to invite on stage a retired student leader, an economist, a public policy expert, a graduate of the University of Chicago in the US, a graduate of the University of Liberia,